Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Small Roles, a D&D podcast where there are no small roles, and Erida is always listening.
Too soon.
Oh, no, but she's adding to the listener count for the podcast.
Yeah, that's great.
Hooray!
I'm David Knight, your Dungeon Master, and I'm joined by a couple and a thruple. So say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm having a lovely time.
So whilst Enkidu gets up close and personal with an amputation, let's cue the theme tune.
Prepare your party of players and polyhedral dice. Your tragic backstory better be worth the sacrifice. Seize your sheets and D20. Let's play D&D. Your haggard character swaggers with daggers in each hand. You've all discussed what you must, but even better laid plans. Take a turn when checks are missed.
Roll initiative. Brandish your blades. Don't fail your saves. No risk too great, no choice to roll. This is your story. No guts, no glory. Confront your fate with every roll. Every
rises inside, one who will pay the price. Their chance of success will rest upon the dice. No risk too great, no choice too bold. This is No Small Roles.
So, after questioning Erida about the Wingthrup workshop, you were shown to your personal study rooms, where you attempted to converse through a written note as to what your next steps were. You decided on the facts of your cover story and briefly discussed the Codex. Something Erida had mentioned was restricted to higher-ranking family members. You decided to explore the battery storage and were led downstairs where you found Coggian taking a stock check. He was trying to devise a way to dispose of the now defunct elemental batteries and release the captured elemental creatures without causing damage to the Golden Forest, but happily took a break to show you the powerful arcane engine instead. The engine was somehow linked to the activation of the prosthetic hands in Ferrocine's workshop, but as you pondered the intricacies of all of the information presented to you, you entered Applied Medtech to see Quanta about to amputate an unconscious patient. She called for Enkidu to approach and assist, and began the procedure. And that's where we're at. So, Enkidu, you've got your hands holding this person down.
Detect thoughts on her. Call out myself.
What? What did you say?
I
I don't know what just happened there.
So, to translate that for everybody, Vicky just said, detect thoughts on her. Oh, I can't help myself. I got you.
Thanks, David.
So, from the person lying in the bed, as they are unconscious and sedated, it's quite a muddled thought that you're picking up. It's slight panic. There are flashes of marshland. There is pain that it feels numb, but it's also quite, again, it's sort of like flipping between all of that and just like peace and sleep, like just like comfortable dreams almost. With Quanta, you just hear static.
I freaking knew it. They are not in control.
Oh, no.
They are all robots.
I'm so freaking glad I
That is clutch move, Vicky. Yes.
But as if that wasn't sort of worrying enough, Enkidu is you're up close and personal with her, as I've said. As you're holding this person down, and they're already strapped to the bed somewhat, but you're just like securing the arm in position as Quanta directs you. She doesn't reach for any tools. She holds up a hand, and it separates. Each finger sort of forming these sharp blades. She's in complete control of them, but she just grabs sort of the top of the arm, and all of these blades just start whirring and vibrating and spinning around. and like gouging their way through the flesh, right the way down to the bone. And this whole thing takes a matter of seconds. And then the whole arm in your hand just becomes loose. But interesting, as you take it away, you've noticed that there's almost had like a cauterizing effect with the way that she's done this. So there's no extra bleeding or anything. But once she's done, she like walks over to a small sort of wash basin, like dips her hand in it, and then like it forms back into a regular hand. And you're left just holding the amputated one.
Oh my god.
What's to be done with this this arm then?
Throw it away. I've no need for it.
Hey, Enkidu, could you give us a hand?
All due respect to Gaius, I don't think I should. And I just turn and I look to see if there's anything that looks like there's disposal.
Yeah, there are sort of a few bins around the place, and some of them very much are already filled with some medical waste, sort of like bloodied bandages and things where this person's clearly like had their bandages changed. So yeah, you walk over and just like sort of lower it into that bin. And she doesn't seem to react as if that's a wrong idea for you to approach that bin and do that.
If my back's turned towards her, I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation twice. I'm gonna cast because I can inscribe inscribe sigils onto things using the spell. So I'm gonna cast the lower half of the glyph that we found on the prosthetic arms somewhere on the arm, and put the upper half of it on my palm. Then I'll put it in the bin.
Okay.
And then I won't activate it just yet. I'll just wait.
See if you can do anything with that.
If I know how.
Yeah. Okay, no, I like it though. Yeah, so you've marked like one half on the arm, but then like the other half you've got on yourself. Ready to go, almost.
Yeah, it's on my forehand, yeah.
Sure. So yeah, Quanta sort of looks over the person in front of her, looks up at the rest of you, and says, I don't recognize any of you.
We're the new recruits.
Yeah, we're new recruits.
Yes, I know that. I'm just saying I don't recognize any of you.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Hello.
I'm Gwendolyn.
Juna?
Enkidu.
Orin?
Gaius.
And you were looking over at Orin and Gaius. You two are the Wingthrops, are you?
Very talented distant relatives.
That's to be discovered. What is your heritage?
Don't really know.
Same for me, I'm afraid.
Was a bit of a surprise to us to find out we were.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Aeland.
Wodenars.
Okay.
Where are you from, Quanta?
From here, from Dravane.
You always lived here.
Yes. The three of you, how did you pass the, I assume it was another group test, was it?
Yes.
Another group test?
They happen occasionally when people with potential spouses come through.
Yes.
Oh, that's surprising. Normally the spouses don't survive.
Well, we're awesome, so we did. Are you a spouse or are you a not spouse?
I'm a commander, and that's all you need to know.
All right.
Oh, when we arrived, Erida told us, greeted us with names that we didn't fully know. She said that commanders would know how you found out that information. It would be good to know. We're all kind of trying to find out what our heritage is, you see.
The incantations that are required to identify a person are entirely left to Erida. To my understanding, the names given are names you're known by.
Even if they're not known to us?
Yes.
So it's kind of like a divination kind of magic?
Yes, in a similar way that you might identify an object for its purposes. This one is applied to people.
So it could be a name that somebody else had called us even if we'd never met that person?
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
It's quite a tight operation you got going on around here. Seems like there's only you and our friend Kagi around at the moment.
And Erida.
Well, yeah, she's always here, isn't she? Gotta love that gal. She is, she's the reason we're all here, right?
I'm sorry, how did you come to be here? It's very odd for unknown family members to suddenly arrive.
We were travelling north, and a golem we passed in the Golden Forest alerted us to eligibility for the test, so we took it.
Now, you're not technically lying there, so can you make a persuasion check?
you're guided as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good already, but I'll add it. It's a D4, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 19.
19. She nods at your response. Well, it is odd, all the same. And you're from different families, are you? Again, looking at Gaius and Orin. Or are you brothers? You don't look like brothers.
We are traveling companions, and we're quite surprised indeed that we were even in the way related, especially to the fantastic and, famous dynasty that is the Wingthrops. Of course, myself being quite a creative person, and my friend Orin here being an inventor himself, clearly we recognize that our lineage being Wingthrops was entirely appropriate for our skill set.
She's just staring at the two of you.
You have the prettiest eyes. I see a little bit of my uncle in you, actually.
It's a slight frown, but she doesn't say anything.
Quanta, do you have any, herbs or incense or charcoal lying around? It would really help me with my design.
There are some medicinal herbs in the cabinet over there.
Can I just take them and
Sort
not
of
be
gestures.
killed?
I give you permission to use the medicinal herbs in your designs.
Thank you very much.
Quanta, may I ask a personal question?
No.
That's fine.
Oh, she makes Myra seem pleasant.
Understandable.
Your directness reminds me of my great-grandmother's cousin.
Wonderful. Do you all have work to get on with, or
Oh, well, I was just
do you need
wondering,
assigning to something?
bit curious because you've pulled half-elf chat over there. Looks like they're in need of a hand now. You gonna be putting the new hand on? Just thought maybe I could watch.
That was the intention, yes.
Can I see how it's done?
It's a fairly standard procedure. You are welcome to watch, but of course, if you'd gone through the proper channels, you would have apprenticed at the WCI already.
Oh yeah, WCI. I think someone mentioned that. What is that again?
The Wingthrup Convalescent Institute in Drostad.
Oh right, okay.
The WCI doesn't have what we need.
And what exactly is it that you need?
Soul transference.
Soul transference.
Putting a soul of a person into a construct of some sort.
That's not actually something we're capable of yet. That's more esoteric than...
But wouldn't it be great if someone from the Wingthrup family could do that?
It would be wonderful, but I'm not sure it's quite at your skill level from my current assessment. You're welcome to try, but I don't assume you're going to succeed.
Well, as assumption is the basis form of intelligence. Allow miracles to happen once they are allowed to breathe.
An assumption makes an ass of you and me.
Oh my god,
She looks from Enkidu's fairly eloquent phrase over at Juna. Actually, I think I'd rather be left in peace. You can all return to your study rooms, thank you.
Well, if you wouldn't mind me just
I would
watching-
mind, actually.
Okay.
And sort of she turns to get on with work.
Go on, Orin, say it anyway.
Well, I was just hoping to watch the hand being grafted on, but...
No, you can leave now.
But he doesn't want to.
My Septhon.
That's as well be, but as a recruit, you should listen to your commanders.
And I'm just gonna grab Juna and just be like, let's follow the party line, okay, the family line. And I recognize, of course, that we are all super keen and eager to learn from you, of course. But we do have, I suppose, like you say, jobs to do. And I'm be like looking to.
I'm just going to get my herbs and incense and charcoal from over here. Yes?
Yes, make a quick investigation check, Juna.
Natural 20!
This is crazy. You have the best look of the cast.
So as you sort of go to the cabinet, you open it up, and whilst a lot of the things are a little bit more sort of pain relief and that kind of thing, you do find probably about 30 gold pieces worth of the kind of herbs that you've been using in your find familiar rituals. So yeah, you're like, great. And you just take an entire...
Thank you, Baby David, for giving me surplus.
He is a benevolent DM.
That's right, with a natural 20. It's quite a hefty little box. I assume you just take the whole lot.
Yeah, and I put it in the tea caddy.
And yeah, Quanta is almost like ignoring you by this point. She sees that you're all leaving and is just returning to the patient that she's got in front of her.
As she's leaving, I'm gonna like sneakily like hold her hand out, focus on it from a third possible cast of prestidigitation in this manner. I'm trying to imagine, because I don't know what I'm doing really, conjuration magic into the sigil and see what happens.
As you're sort of looking at it, you do realize that if you want anything to happen with these 2 sigils that you've marked, you would need to, in a mechanical sense, use a spell slot. You'd have to pump in a lot more magic than just a cantrip level's worth. Like, you do try with a little bit of prestidigitation, but like whilst you feel it like almost get a little bit fuzzy in your hand, nothing happens.
I think I will stop precious 2 spell slots.
I was going to say, for a warlock, that's a tricky thing to do. Yeah.
Do I see what Enkidu's doing?
No, he's been fairly sneaky about doing this all out of sight, and especially with you just having found like this huge wad of like herbs and stuff. You're more happy with that.
Keep your natural 20 to yourself.
I'm like one step away from making a smudge stick.
So, Cog also sort of like leaves with you, and he's like, well, I'm going to get back to work before she cuts my arm off. So, if you need me, I'll be downstairs. And he sort of wanders, sort of flip-flops with his slippers.
One final question just before you leave.
Yeah.
There isn't a family tree around anywhere, is there?
You could ask Erida, but not like a written up one that I know of.
Oh, wow. Good thought. Thanks, Cog.
No worries. Yeah, I'll be downstairs.
We'll see you later, Coggy.
He sort of walks over to the little platform. It's like, Erida, basement, please. And like the lines appear in the floor, and he just starts sinking into it.
Did you see that? She had blades in her... What? She had blades for fingers.
Yeah.
She's a robot.
She's... What? What's a robot?
What?
She's not got thoughts. Erida and Quanta, neither of them got thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. They've got aspirations and dreams and amazing ideas, my god. Giving her a very knowing look like,
Fine.
Way above thoughts.
Like,
Yes, of course.
higher being thoughts, one would say.
Yes.
So, what's our plan then, everyone? Are we going to continue our exploration, or are we going to proceed with going into the trial?
I would like to go back to Gwen's room and discuss our hopes and dreams on the paper like before.
Yes. I mean, would any of us like to take this opportunity to make anything, as we're welcome to work on designs?
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
We can do that on the paper as well, of course, but maybe there's some way that we could, use our skills, seeing as we're here.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to come to mine?
You do have a bigger room.
Oh, I don't know if it's bigger. It's just it looks a little bigger when you first go in, and it's probably just the way it's laid out or something.
Laid out bigger.
It's just maybe the bed's smaller, so it makes the room look bigger. Maybe it's sized for me.
Maybe.
You all, pass down through the grand hall again toward the personal studios. Again, as you approach, this time the wall just opens up by itself, and you wander in down the corridor to Orin's room, passing Gaius' room on the way. But once you're all in, sort of the door closes behind you. Breather. Even though you kind of feel like you're still being watched, there is a momentary sigh of relief just being in a room with the 5 of you without any other golems wandering around, without Quanta nearby.
Junior's just going to go in the corner and just like mix shit up, get the herbs on the go, find some sort of cauldron. She's like off in her own world, finding familiar solidly.
Gwendolyn's brain is hurting, so she flops on the bed for a bit.
Orin's going to spend 10 minutes, if he can, charging up the goggles of medical detection again. Because he would quite like to try and scan around the room with them and just see if he can figure out if there is something detecting stuff in the room.
Actually, does anyone have any, like, paint?
I've got my disguise kit and my forgery kit.
Miss Sekthorn, can I borrow, like, some sort of paint or makeup brush or something?
Yeah?
Sure.
Have some eyeshadow.
Okay.
I think the pink would suit you, Enkidu.
Yes, thank you, Miss Sekthorn. And I confuse
But,
it.
Orin, what do you like? Is the question.
something. You got something orange.
Luckily, I've got some orange here, so with your pink and your orange, Enkidu, you go ahead with your project.
Thank you. One of my knives to Gwendolyn. I'll take the one I've got left. I'm gonna write the bottom half of the sigil on the blade, wherever it shows up, and view the top half onto my palm again. I'm gonna focus in, and instead of casting prestidigitation, I'm gonna try and imbue it with magic. So I will spend a spell slot. See what happens.
As you're sort of prepping that, Orin, you finish sort of fiddling with your goggles, and you notice a divination essence coming from a space just above the door.
Just above the door.
Yeah, you can't see anything there, but there is a divination power source or something, magical energy, just floating above the doorway. Enkidu, as you start charging up this spell slot, sort of the arcane energy, like through the sigil in your hand, concentrating on the knife. Have you got it close to you? Have you got it further away? Where have you?
Purposely put it away from me on the ground, and I'm raising my left arm, which has the symbol on its hand, into here, and then I'm gonna lower my hand to see what happens.
So as you charge this arcane energy into this half sigil in your hand and lower it down, the knife moves. It doesn't come closer. It doesn't sort of bamf over to your hand in any way. But as you move your hand in a similar way, the knife starts like edging its way along the floor, almost as if you have hold of it in some strange esoteric way. Just like scoots along the floor, and then as you sort of pull your hand back a little bit, it sort of scoots back to where it was. And obviously, Orin, as Enkidu's doing this, you get a ping of conjuration magic between the two. You can almost see a slight tether between them.
Oh, what are you doing over there?
I came across a particular part of arcane magic some years ago called sympathy. It allows two objects not physically connected to each other to have an effect on each other. Sort of like what happens when you have matching poles of magnets together. Sort of like that. So you imbue both ends with conjuration magic and you apply it. I've never seen it done, but ever since I've seen the prosthetic hands, I've had that thought in my head that something or someone was controlling these. Something powerful, of course, was controlling their prosthetic limbs from afar. So I thought I'd maybe give it a try if I knew the markings.
Wow.
I know.
What a cool family we're part of. Looking at Guy.
Here's the thing, I didn't use the life of an animal or an element to do it. I just wrote some symbols down and used my own energy. And for a simple trick like this, what does it cost to animate, you know?
Maybe this is closer to the new energy that they're going to be using, whatever that is.
Yeah. You don't get energy from nothing.
With magic, you can pretty much make this effect pretty easily. Why go from magic to elementals and now to whatever they're using now?
How do we know they started with magic?
I don't think we'll know answers to these questions until we have a higher clearance, is the thing. We just don't have enough information at the moment to, answer questions like this. It's definitely worth knowing that these experiments produce results. And while everyone's going to be tinkering away, Guy is also quite beat and his head is starting to hurt as well. So he's going to plonk himself alongside Gwendolyn just on the bed, just and zonk out for a bit.
Yeah, I imagine when Gwendolyn spoke then, she had her face on the pillow. So
Yeah, it sounded really inviting, actually, that sound. So he just cuddles up to Gwendolyn.
Yeah, having a little nap.
Yeah, so it takes an hour for Find the Familiar,
Yes.
the whole ritual to go through. Obviously, everybody else has sort of done other things, but essentially you will have a short rest whilst you're in here.
Oh, question, DM. The proportion of objects I tried to manipulate were different. So did it actually cost me a spell slot to use the knife?
Yes, it did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that even it's obviously a much smaller thing, but the effort that you had to put in was still quite large.
Oh wow.
It didn't have, like you saw, it didn't have a huge sort of reaction, but the energy that you pumped in was just enough to tie them loosely. And with Orin's, again, looking through the goggles, like, it was quite a loose connection for what it was. But yeah, essentially, after a short rest anyway, you've gotten that spell slot back. So it's all good.
So after an hour, Elikanarman, Natu Elikanarman, and Ruana emerges from the embers as an owl.
An owl.
Oh, cool. What kind of owl?
Like a sort of, you know those owls that have the feathers that look like wise eyebrows?
Yeah.
I don't know my
Horned owl?
owls very well.
Is that a horned owl?
We'll say that.
Sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
That sounds
Sure.
right.
Great horned owl, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, in my
Yeah.
head, it's like she looks like an owl version of the mechanical owl from Clash of the Titans. That was the inspiration. Bubo?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is holding up a picture of an owl, which we'll maybe share on the social media or use your imaginations.
Patrons get special access to what a horned owl looks like. Get your money's worth.
Or Google.
Google is your friend.
Damn it, Grace.
Google our Patreon.
Google our Patreon and sign up.
Or just Erida it instead.
She knows all the answers.
Erida.
TM.
Erida versus Alexa.
So, yeah, after the rest, you realize that, like, yeah, in one corner of the room, there is stuff to make food if you want it. There's, like, stuff to make drinks. There's a tap, a little sink, and all the rest of it. From the sounds of it, June has used the cauldron in her ritual, so you might need to give that a wash before you cook anything. Yeah, are you staying in the room? Are you going to go exploring anymore? Are you going to... What's your plans? What's the chats?
I would really like to write down a hope or a dream, if that's all right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Let's get some paper.
So Juna's going to write down, I am scared. If we take this test, we will be turned into robots. And she folds it over and hands it to Gwen.
Gwen replies, I don't think that'll happen with the next test. I think it's just the superior one, the third test. Fingers crossed would be okay with the second? Hands it back to Juna, but showing everyone.
Guy would like to raise his finger and just be like, "Oh, I'll add to this because I was thinking about my dream, and actually, I want to include Gwen and Juna in my dream."
Well, quite. We are a wing thruple after all.
While this is going on, Oren's going to get another bit of paper and just start drawing something, just FYI.
The advantage that we have over others who have done the test and maybe become golems is that we know this could happen. So that's a comfort for the next test, not this one now. I'm just going to just pass it back to Juna.
She writes down, I don't like these people at all. Apart from when they gave me the herbs.
Guy writes, LOL, same.
What's that mean?
Lots of love. Oh, thank you. That's genuinely what my grandma thinks LOL stands for.
Yeah. Gwendolyn writes a question to everyone to be, do we think we'll discover more from doing the next test?
And Kidu would. No, who just nod?
Yeah.
Nod.
Guy will also nod along with that.
And is it worth it? She writes underneath.
And Kidu were right. Danger, increasingly likely. But what other option is there?
Free the animals, break the codex, kill everyone and run. That I wrote that down.
Guy just goes, just starts writing, not the job we were sent for. I'm not cool with that.
God, I've gone rogue tonight. Juna just stands up, turns around, and like pulls her like top up and her trousers down so she shows him her tattoo. Like the main flower one.
Oh, I thought chaos.
Gwendolyn puts like, if we're going to release the animals, we can't just let them descend outside. We've already been told that won't be good for the ecosystem. We've got to do that carefully. We've got to think about it.
And Kidu writes, use golems. We have sigil. They can do the work.
Guy also writes then down, how do we get to that point without giving the game away? Also, exit plan? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
More the facility below. He's responding. More options we have of seeing where to escape from, more authority to move and speak freely.
Gwendolyn writes, we have been told we can leave any time. We could leave now.
With secrets of robots, he writes in big capitals. No, but he writes one other thing to consider. Corrigan's reaction after seeing Swiss army hands. Actually, Swiss is not a word that exists in this world, of course. But
Seeing icebreaker army hands. Icebreaker.
yeah, icebreaker army hands.
Guy will write, so test, and then he'll draw a little 2 columns, one labeled yes, one labeled no, and pass it around.
Well, some of that writing's been going on. Just Orin's had a bit of paper. If he may use his magical tinkering to try and, well, they've been writing, to try and stand up near the arcane thing that's looking at the room and then quickly, sketch out a drawing of the room using his magical tinkering on a bit of paper.
Sure.
And then see if he can find a way of sticking it in front of the arcane camera.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah, okay, well, with your magical tinkering, is it an exact replica of the room that you can make? Is it just...
It says a static visual effect appears on one of the object surfaces. The effect can be a picture, up to 25 words of text, lines and shapes, or a mixture of these elements as you like.
No, I'll allow that. So it's a static picture
Yeah.
of everybody stood around the table.
Yeah.
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 Cool. The door is perhaps a little bit high for Orin. But the group does kind of see what he's been doing and is weirdly reaching to try and stick a bit of, or get a bit of paper up if anybody wants to assist.
Yeah, I'll go assist Orin.
So Gwendolyn approaches you, Orin.
Very stealthily, 'cause she's...
Yeah, everyone's still passing the other note between the group.
And she kind of goes down on a knee to give him a knee to step up onto.
I will step up onto Gwen's knee if I can,
Mm-hmm.
and then attempt to...
Can you make a sleight of hand check, please?
Get to the top. 19.
19? It's pretty swift. You're pretty sure you've done it in less than a second. There's a bit of paper just hanging from the ceiling in front of this energy.
And then I'll just come back to the others and be pointing at the bit of paper, doing a thumbs up.
Nkili will cup his hands and make them touch as if to simulate someone speaking. Shrug his shoulders.
And Orin's going to shake his head.
Can we?
No, we can be heard.
Guy will tap the piece of paper with the 2 columns on it, yes or no. Next trial.
Nkili will tap yes.
Gwendolyn's going to write, I want to be as prepared as possible. Then yes.
Gwendolyn adds a 3rd column. Orin will put a little tick in. Yeah.
Gina gives the paper back to Guy.
Cool. And just gives a nod to everyone. Just okay. Taps on Gwendolyn's comment and just gives a thumbs up. So, I am going to have a little nap.
Yes, if we're going to get ourselves ready for this challenge, perhaps we need everyone well rested and anything that we think might be useful to bring with us in there. I wonder if there's a way I can sharpen some of these chisels.
What did you want to use the chisels for?
Is there anything on the wall or anything?
Yeah, there's a few sort of notice boards and things, not necessarily with anything on, but more ready for people to pin up designs and...
So she's gonna get the chisel at the ready, she's feeling the weight of it, and she kind of wants to throw it that when it's flipping it'll then pierce into the wall.
Yeah.
That's what she's gonna try and do.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
It's a natural 1, guys.
Oh.
I mean, you can't miss the wall, right?
She can't
She's
even
never used the chisel before, to be fair. to
Exactly.
her.
It's more trying to get used to the balance of the chisel, but as you throw it,
Oh no.
it bounces straight off of the board, starts spinning back at you, you duck, and it just impales the bit of paper that Orin just put up.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, Gwendolyn flops back on the bed. She's blushing. She feels really embarrassed. I just wanted to make a weapon.
Okay, Gwen, maybe
I gave you a
make
knife.
something
I
for you.
wanted more.
I gave you a knife.
We're in a place where we make things.
Exactly. Why
We'll
not
make
take
you a-
advantage of being able to make things?
Yeah, so don't throw the chisel at the wall. We'll make you
No,
something
what's
better.
going on? Why did you do that?
Because I wanted it to work.
Can I have my knife back, please?
Yeah, she gives it back. She just keeps her head in the bed.
We'll get you something you can use properly. But
I
goodness
thought it would
me.
be good.
But you had a knife. Why did you chuck a chisel at the wall?
Because I wanted to make the chisel into a weapon. How is that so hard to grasp?
Chisels are... Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
If it was sharp, it would have been better.
Juna's gonna go. Juna's gonna pick it out the wall, give it back to Gwen, and say, "Try again."
No! Does the paper fall off?
Maybe we'll just put the
Yeah,
chisel.
the paper is like
chisel
floated
back.
to the floor.
Let's put this back in the
Aikido
door.
will roll
where it
over to
belongs.
the paper, crumple it in his hands, and then incinerate it with prestidigitation.
Mhm.
Ashes in the bin. Quick.
What are we doing to prepare then, gang?
Sleep.
Yeah.
And we're fine.
Cool.
We're fine. But we've just had a rest while we were talking, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've all just had a short rest. So it's basically if anyone needs a long rest to like recuperate any spell slots and things, like Gwendolyn said, if anybody like wants to make something quickly to take in with them, now's the time, essentially.
I wouldn't mind making something and a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine for the nap, to be honest. More making something.
But yeah, over the next 8 hours, how are each of you sort of preparing yourselves?
I'm gonna have a sleep and send Ruana off a fly-in to see if she can stealthily see anything.
First of all, make a stealth check for Ruana.
That's with her stats, isn't it? 11.
11. So whilst she makes it out of the door from Orin's room, as she's flying down the corridor, back towards the door, the entrance sort of wall to the personal studios, nothing opens. She flies sort of door
okay.
to door to door, and none of it is recognizing her as a Wingthrup, essentially. So
Okay.
even
that's
when she
fair.
flies back to Orin's room, it doesn't open back up for her. She's just sat outside of it, taps on it with her beak.
Juna will let her back in. Well, no, she won't, because Juna will be asleep in Orin's room.
Sure. Whoever's awake can hear a little like tap tap tap.
I'll run to the door.
It's just an
Fling it
owl
open.
sat on the floor.
And I pick her up.
She raises one like feathery eyebrow.
And I'll look down the corridors, make sure, like, do I see anyone or anything walking?
Nope, there doesn't seem to be anyone around.
I quickly shut the door. Like, you stay where we can see you. You are not to go anywhere that you are not sent. Just stay here. Stay here.
Ruana just sort of
I'm not
hangs
going down.
around on his shoulder for the rest of the time. She loves some Enkidu.
Yeah, anybody else doing anything? Orin making stuff?
Yeah, Orin's got a couple of things that he'd like to make if he's having a bit of a long rest. So there's a whole lot of stuff here. So for a start, he'd quite like to swap his infusion. So he's going to swap out one of his infusions for. So he's going to take apart. He's been sitting there for a while, taking apart his goggles of night, and has been fiddling with a dart for a couple of hours instead. And then once he's done that, if he's got a bit of time, he might have a little nap in a bit. But if he's got a bit of time, he might also then get out the bottled smoke ingredients that he bought before.
Way back
And-
in Vernock Rise.
Yeah, open up his book that Juna gave him of basic alchemy for beginners, and sit at the table. And I assume there's some alchemy kit in the drawers and things.
There's a little bit of it, not necessarily a whole set, but yeah, enough to go on with.
Yeah, and so he's gonna try and see if he can follow the steps to make the bottled smoke.
Cool.
If he can.
Are you currently proficient with alchemical supplies?
I am.
In which case, make a intelligence roll with your proficiency as well.
Thank you. 28.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's a total lie.
38.
That's a total lie.
53!
What did I say?
28.
Yeah, 28. That's right.
Oh no, wait. Oh no. Oh yeah, no, it is 20.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so actually, like with the instructions in front of you and like the little bit of alchemical toying that you've done with yourself, you're like, oh, it's that reaction. You pour chemical with chemical, burn the little thing, pour the whole lot into the bottle, put the cork on, give it a little shake, and then suddenly, like the whole thing just reacts, and you've got a little glass bottle of smoke.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay. That is a good instruction book. That is easy to follow. Nice. Must remember to tell Juno. Oh, she's asleep. I can't tell her a bit. Why is there an owl? What's going on? Oh, okay, yeah.
Cool.
And with that done, then he'll curl up somewhere and sleep. If Juno's on the bed, he'll just find a little corner somewhere and settle in.
Nice. Yeah, Gaius, Enkidu, Gwendolyn, are you preparing anything or just like resting up, basically?
I'm just gonna chill my book of the arcane, just reading up on spells and stuff, and just occupying my time.
Bit of study. Nice.
Yeah.
Are there any books in the workshop?
There are some sort of basic textbooks. They look a little bit more in line with, like, as you pick one up, it's more like a mechanical manuals for like specific pressures and like equations, like engineering equations almost. It goes completely over Gaius's head. He's studied, but like this is not necessarily an area that he is. But yeah, it's basically taking a small peek into like Orin's mind is the impression.
I think for him it's more that like he is finding it really difficult to go to sleep because of all that's going on around him. He's very overstimulated. So he thinks, I'll read some of this, and within 5 minutes he falls asleep.
Yeah.
We've all read that textbook, haven't we? We're just like,
he maybe gets to the second page.
Thunk. Head in book.
And Gwendolyn, what are you doing?
Gwendolyn's going to go back to her room and she is going to look at the shelves of tools. She's going to look at the little box of chisels and like a cat, you know, the cat when it just pushes the thing off the side. She's just going to push the chisels onto the floor and then kick the box that they were in. And she starts like taking things out of her bag and she's just like looking through things and she's frustrated and like feeling really pent up and then she finds like her wooden fan like to cool herself down, so she's gonna start like using that to like she just distract herself, and like as she's holding the fan she starts to play with it, like kind of like throwing it up and catching it, and it kind of turns into some exercises and training. And she kind of starts to like see if she could use the fan as a weapon. And then she's like, no, that's stupid. But then she keeps on playing a bit. And so she then, she sticks her head out the door and she calls for Erida.
There's a small chime. As soon as she say Erida's name, there's a chime at the doorway to the whole personal studios.
She kind of goes out to like following the chime to try and find her.
Yeah, and as soon as you sort of come to that T section, Erida is stood there and he's like, yes, Gwendolyn, how can I help?
Hello, Erida. I was wondering if there was any way I could make a metal version of this, and she holds up her fan.
Yes, that's quite possible.
Would I be able to get the materials to try and do that?
Yes. What materials will you be requiring?
I would need some lightweight metal, I think. Mithril. That is what that's because that's the only thing she can remember. Yes, mithril, please. And I would require a way to mithril sheets, please. And I would like to be able to have a tool that will help me to cut and make the staves. And I imagine some sort of hinge, perhaps. I'd also like to make it quite sharp.
I believe your fellow recruits have some mithril that you can use.
Of course. That's a very good... But how would I make it into sheets?
If you pass me that mithril, I can secure them into sheets for you.
Okay, I'll go check they're not using it for any other designs.
Of course.
Gwendolyn kind of sheepishly goes back to the room where everyone's sleeping.
When Gwendolyn comes back in, if Orin's still up working on stuff at the table, can he just shout over to Gwendolyn, Gwendolyn, have you got one of those darts that you use?
Yes, Yes,
Can I
here
just
you go.
borrow it just for a bit? Hang on,
course.
sorry. Give it back. Okay, sorry, carry on.
I was just wondering. I've had an idea to make something, but I would need the mithril if you guys haven't got another idea for it.
I think it was in the tea caddy. Look around for the tea caddy.
Should I wake everyone else up and ask if they're okay with me taking it?
I'd just take it, to be honest.
Will you defend me if they're not happy about it?
Yeah, it's better just to borrow things up front and then just like, once you've made a cool thing with them, then people don't seem to mind.
Like you did with Aggie?
Yeah.
Cool.
Artificer's code.
Consent. Very, very big word. Consent. Let's talk about
He's
this.
not into that. Not into worrying about who owns the particular thing.
For the sake of science.
So, yeah, Gwendolyn goes into the caddy, gets the mithril.
Does she need to roll for that?
It depends. Has Juna just left the caddy out, or
Yeah, probably, actually.
has Juna fallen asleep hugging her tea
Yeah, no,
caddy?
she wouldn't have done that.
Gwendolyn just like whispers to Juna, I'm taking the mithril. Thanks, everyone. She puts a chisel in there instead.
Oi, stop moving my chisels around.
Oh my god, if Juna leaves with that chisel, she'll never know. She'll die. Because they clearly know what is in there.
Yep.
Well, at least now Gwendolyn's basically getting permission to use it, if Erida's letting her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, do you return? You return to Erida with a
Yes,
sort of bar of mithril.
yes. We thought we'd hold on to it because, you know, we're trying to be resourceful and industrious whilst we're here.
Of course.
Of course. What do I do with it?
I'll take it off of your hands. It should take 24 hours to convert into sheets for you.
Oh, that long? Will I definitely get it back?
Yes, of course.
Oh, good, because I think it would be a really good invention, and I want to do my best by the Wingthrup family, of course.
Yes. We like to encourage our young recruits to design and experiment to their heart's content.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Erida, why did you call me Carhilda?
So again, a slight computational look on her face. It stays perfectly still. You are known as Carhilda.
By who?
I cannot say.
Please?
That information is restricted to higher-ranking family members.
Oh, she's so annoying.
But you are a higher-ranking family member.
Unfortunately, you are not a higher-ranking family member.
Okay. Thank you, Erida.
Takes the bar and just stands there staring. She doesn't blink. Quite off-putting.
She kind of walks backwards, she doesn't quite feel like, you're supposed to, keep your eye contact with the queen or whatever. Isn't it? I'm sure it's in some, so she's just, keeping eye contact as she's, walking back and kind of doing occasional curtsies as she goes, because she's not sure.
I'm finding David playing Erida just very unnerving.
Yeah.
For our listeners, it's so weird because he becomes instantly static as opposed to his normal self.
I just press pause on my Zoom screen. That's all it is.
You're just holding up a paper image in front of your camera.
Yeah, exactly. But once you're far enough back, the door closes, and you don't have to bow or scrape anymore.
Bit deflated, she kind of heads back to her room. She goes to sleep.
So after a long rest, sort of 8 hours or so, you all gather back together, slowly and surely. Are you heading straight to the test? Are you going to go exploring anymore?
Do anyone want a snack?
I'll eat my croissants.
They are mouldy by now. If there's any left.
Oh yeah, that's what, a couple of weeks now that you've had those pastries.
Oh gosh, yeah, I incinerate them.
Gwen, just before we go in, hang on. Thought you might want this for the day. I might need to borrow it again tonight. I'm not sure if I might need to reuse some of the components. And he's going to pass over the dart that he's been tinkering with before he went to bed last night with I just have a really terrible idea. It's just got a really long elastic band attached to it, essentially. Sort of, that's what it looks like. But with a slight arcane kind of twang around what clearly could slightly be an elastic band, maybe. Give it a throw.
Okay. stand back, everyone. She's aiming for where she aimed for before, and that gets a 19 to hit.
Oh.
Notice
I mean, that's
board.
more than enough to embed itself into the notice board.
For a moment, before there's a slight, with a little almost elastic twanging sound, you'd look down at your hand and you're holding the dart.
That is so cool.
That's amazing. So it just comes back to me.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably a little bit more attacky and damagey as well than it was before. Some would say +1 if you wanted to try and quantify it in some way.
Oh, Orin, this is fantastic. And she gives Orin a huge hug and a kiss on the
okay.
forehead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love weapons.
As I say, I might need to take it apart again tonight. But
You can do whatever you like to it, Orin. This is fantastic.
But anyway, for today, just in case we need a bit of help,
Yay.
you have a +1 returning weapon.
That's so cool. Thank
That is
you.
really cool.
Yeah.
That's hefty. Yeah. Who's calling Erida then?
Oh, Erida!
Again, you hear a chime down the corridor.
Oh, by the way, everyone, I borrowed the mithril. I haven't got it back yet. I'll explain later.
When you're meant to say after you've made the thing.
I don't have it yet.
Okay.
You all step out down the corridor, and the door opens to the main hall again, and Erida stood there. Hello, how can I be of assistance?
I think we're ready to take the next stage of our tests, Erida.
Wonderful. Will you all be taking part in the advancement test?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Please follow me.
Oh, just before we go, just out of interest, Erida, you haven't
Yes.
got a family tree at all, have you? Me and Guy were just a bit curious, is all.
I'm sorry, that information is restricted to higher family members. If you pass the advancement test, you'll be able to access the codex.
This next test, we can access the codex afterwards.
Yes,
What's in the codex?
a family tree
Just a family tree?
and other information. You'll need to pass the advancement test first. Please follow me.
Okay.
And she turns on her heel, walks to the other end of the hall, sort of stands in front of the wall there, and turns and says, "Are you all ready?"
Guy cracks his neck and goes, "Let's do this thing, come on."
I've been waiting for this. I'm ready.
Yeah, come on then.
All right.
Okay.
And she turns, looks at the wall, and the wall that you'd exited from the maze opens up again to reveal 5 corridors, separated by glass panels. Please each take a separate corridor.
Anyone?
Yes, any corridor you prefer.
You say prefer. What's the difference between the 5?
There is no difference between each of the corridors.
But what's on the other side of them will be different, right?
There is no difference between any of the corridors.
I don't think we're going to know any more about the what's on the other side, guys. And he's just going to start strutting towards the one on the far left.
Yeah, Juno will go next to him.
I'll go next to Junior in the middle. I'll also, just before I go in, have a look for an Aggie-shaped corridor, and then just sort of usher Aggie in to follow me.
And Ruana is coming with me, unless otherwise instructed.
Gwendolyn's really scared.
Juno comes back and sort of like holds her shoulders.
As Juno goes to return, as you come to the end of the corridor, there is just a force wall there that does not let you leave.
She tries to send a message to Gwendolyn and say, "You've got this, Gwen."
Does she see them like disappear down the corridor?
No, so as far as I can tell, everybody, Gaius, Juno, and
Yep.
Orin have entered. Is that right? I think
Yeah.
they've entered. Yeah, they've entered. They've only gotten a few spaces, and you can see right the way down the corridor. It's well lit, apart from being separated by these glass panels. But as Juno's come back, you do see the fact that she can't leave.
Juno tries her best to look like calm and collected and smiley, even though she is wigging out.
Grace here, keeping you updated with all things No Small Roles related. First up, a big thank you to you, dearest rollers, for the fab questions you sent in for Daryl and Vicky this week. A special thank you goes out to substitute question master, superfan Hannah, who expertly kept Sam's hosting seat warm. We look forward to sharing episode 8 of No Small Questions with you all very soon. Lots of questions came in through the Discord this month. If you've not checked it out, it is a great place to chat with fellow No Small Roles fans and the cast. So if you'd like to join the growing community, check out the link in the show notes. Now, the eagle-eared amongst you will have noticed I made a little faux pas in last episode's announcements, saying David instead of Daryl. A small error, but something we'd usually notice before releasing an episode. So it gave us pause for thought, realising that we might be a little overwhelmed with juggling the return to work alongside putting No Small Roles together. We are, of course, delighted to be busy working actors, and so to make sure we can continue to give each episode of No Small Roles the attention it deserves, we have decided to adjust the release schedule to help support our melting brains. So in July and August, we'll be releasing 2 main storyline episodes per month, which will wrap up the Wingthrop arc, before we then have a much-needed break in September. We, of course, truly love playing these characters and the adventures we have with them. So we'll be working out the most sustainable way to keep bringing you more exciting episodes of No Small Roles. Now, if you love listening to No Small Roles as much as we love making it, and you want to show your support for the show, you can do that in a number of ways. You could write us a review on iTunes, Podchaser, or even on our Facebook page. You can tell your friends about us, and you can subscribe to our Patreon, where we have a range of goodies and membership levels to suit all. Check us out at www.patreon.com/No Small Roles. That's all from me for now. Let's get you back to the story. Gwendolyn looks at Enkidu and says, "Are we going to regret this?"
No, we're not, because we are going through this trial separately but together, and there's another side. It's a corridor. We can't go back on our decisions, but we can see it through.
Okay. See you on the other side, I guess.
Of course.
Gwendolyn goes in.
Enkidu's going to watch her go in to make sure she doesn't look back or try to turn back.
And then does he enter into the last corridor? Or just watch?
He's going to watch for a bit to make sure she's gone in before he goes in himself.
Cool. So from left to right, Gaius, Juna, Orin, Gwendolyn, Enkidu.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Wonderful. Once you're all inside, the wall starts closing behind you.
I feel physically sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. It's so horrible.
And like I said, it is well lit. You can see each other very, very clearly. And you can hear each other as you're sort of walking along. You can hear each other's footsteps. Each corridor is about 65 feet in length. And as you reach the end of it, you just find a wall, an obsidian wall, with a triangular symbol in the center of it, at the end of each and every corridor.
Triangular symbol. Does it look like the Wingthrop sigil?
Yeah, without the 3 gears at each corner. It's just a sort of a blue triangle in that same kind of like arcane style that they've got showing up on the wall.
Guy, I'll press it.
Okay, so as Gaius touches his, Gaius, who is at the far left, everybody else can see that the glass on his corridor blacks out. Gaius, you can no longer hear anybody else. You see that your corridor has been blacked out. You can't see anybody else either. 4 other triangles appear on the wall, and they say Juna, Orin, Gwendolyn, and Enkidu. Then you hear the phrase, "Please rank your fellow recruits in order of congeniality." And 4 pins appear on the wall in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pins?
Yeah, as if you could take the triangles with their names on and hook them onto these pins.
Congeniality. Guy's gonna think about that and then go, okay, nothing personal. He's gonna take Gwendolyn's and he's gonna put it on the one I assume that indicates the most congenial. And then he'll take Juna's, put on the next one, and then Kidu's, and Orin at the end. Stole my motherfucking mithril. He doesn't say that, he doesn't care.
Oh my gosh.
Congenial means like polite and stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
yeah.
It's like friendly.
Like friendly, has manners,
Most like you. Yeah.
follows a code.
Someone you take a liking to. Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check.
My entire knowledge of the word congeniality is from the film Miss Congeniality.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you, Sandra Bullock.
That and Drag Race.
Dictionary.com says the quality of being agreeable, suitable, or pleasant.
And you've ranked Gwendolyn, Juna, Enkidu, Orin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool. So the rest of you outside, you hear the question.
Oh.
He is spilling that tea.
Dish.
Dish.
As you hear the question, there's a brief moment, and then crackling energy starts filling up the end of your corridor.
My corridor.
Nope. Juna, yours takes up probably about 5 feet's worth. Enkidu, yours 10 feet. And Orin, probably guess about 15 feet of your corridor is gone, with this cerulean arcane energy just blasting out suddenly and completely blocking view of the wall at the other end. And Gaius's wall is clear again. The question on the wall in front of you, Gaius, has vanished, and so has the triangular button.
Okay, this is what happened. And I relay everything that happened.
Okay, there's a lot of crackling energy in my
Yep.
tube.
Should I be worried about this?
Juna's going to press her triangle, knowing what she needs to do.
I think we need to back. That's what you hear Gwendolyn say.
Juna's whole corridor suddenly blocks off. Gaius, you lose sight of everybody else further down the corridor.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah. She's in between.
And Juna, 4 triangles appear with everybody else's names on. 4 pins appear, and everybody hears the words, "Please rank your fellow recruits in order of apathy."
So she is going to rank. We definitely should have planned this, but that's not what Juna was ready. She's going to rank Orin top, then Enkidu, then Gwen, then Guy at the bottom.
So, whilst everybody hears the question, suddenly the corridors start filling up again. Enkidu, you probably lost now a total of 15 feet altogether. Gwendolyn, you've lost 10 feet. And Gaius, 15 feet of yours also just suddenly gets filled with this crackling energy. It is loud as well. You can hear each other still, but it's getting loud the more
my
that this
gosh.
energy is coming in.
Did you say that each corridor was 75 feet long?
65.
65.
The walls on Juna's corridor are clear again, and you can see her.
So how many feet in Orin's?
So there's 15 feet gone from Gaius, Orin, and Enkidu, 5 feet from Juna, and 10 feet from Gwendolyn.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, total of 30. Orin's going to say, okay, looks like I didn't lose any corridor that time. Can we tell how much has gone from each one?
Trying to make a quick scan of everybody else's. You can tell that Gaius, Orin, and Enkidu, you've roughly about the same level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the viewpoint is slightly skewed by these glass barriers between you all, but yeah, you can tell.
So it looks like we've got to share the load, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I haven't got
Yeah.
much. You can give me some more.
Same here.
Yeah, okay, so we're losing, what, about 30 feet of corridor every time we do this?
Yeah.
15, isn't it?
30 feet, because we lose 15,
10 and 5.
10, and 5.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, you mean in total?
Yeah.
In total, we're losing about 30 feet.
So we have to think about this really carefully right now.
Do we think we all have to press this thing? Guy, Juna, have you still got the thing in front of you? Don't press it.
Have we?
No, both of your triangles have
No,
disappeared.
they're disappeared.
We're out of the contenders. So in theory then, we have how many rounds left? We've got 3 rounds, meaning there's going to be 90 points that are going to be equally shared. So obviously, if these all get, majority to 1 or 2 people, by the final round, there's we could be very careful in the first 2 rounds, but in the final round, someone could be zapped based on just that we have to choose someone. You know what I mean?
Someone has to get 15 feet.
So that's why we need to calculate now. This is what Guy says in his accent all the way through. We need to calculate now who's going to get what to make sure we get all under 65.
Yes,
we could give it to couldn't we give it to ourselves?
You can't give it to
We
yourself.
can't give it to
can't.
ourselves.
No. No, I didn't see my name up. I'm very sorry. I maybe should have waited.
No, we're learning.
Yeah.
And you have to forge the anvil before swinging the hammer.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it.
Well, I could definitely afford to be the bottom.
Yeah, I can be bottom. I could be bottom a couple of times.
Yeah, you got 30 feet left, as long as we then put you on top.
Maybe if Orin or Enkidu are next to go, as you won't take on any more power whilst you're choosing.
Okay, I can go next. I think, Junior, I might have to put you bottom.
Yeah, I think put Guy top, because he's not going to skip a go anymore.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, Guy can't skip any more goes. So, Guy, I'll put you top.
Cool.
And Kidu next. Gwen and then Juna.
Makes sense.
Sounds like an idea.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'll press the triangle.
And again, Orin's corridor is suddenly blacked out. Same again, you see these 4 triangles appear with everybody else's names on, 4 pins to hang them on. And you hear, again, you all hear, please rank your fellow recruits in order of martial prowess.
Guy is a well-known swordsman. He took out a table like no one's ever seen. He's definitely number 1. I put him at top.
He just shouts off in the ether. You see that, Enkidu?
But Enkidu, of course. I mean, you should have seen him destroy Gwendolyn in a fight. So he's next.
Oh no, can't hit that.
And then Gwen, though, it was a close second in the fight, so she's next. Juna, I mean, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of that stick, but maybe not the most martial of forces. I'll put her last.
And before Orin's corridor sort of becomes clear again, Juna, you gain 15 feet of arcane energy sort of crackling down your corridor. Gwendolyn, you gain another 10, and then Kidu, you gain another 5. Or rather, lose, I suppose. Lose space. But then Orin's corridor becomes clear.
I'm back. I just told the truth.
Nice one, buddy. Well done.
Just a thought. I think we are going in the right direction, but what if these questions then lay out what we come up against next?
Oh,
Well, it's better to survive. Oh gosh, no.
Quite possibly, but I'd say let's cross that bridge when it comes to it. You know.
Yeah. Guys has to fight the strongest enemy.
David is pulling the blankest face. David is pulling an Erida Wingthrup level blank face right now. Oh no, we've been worrying about the wrong thing, haven't we?
It's fine. I can beat anyone in the sword fight, guys. I've got a strength of 0. I'm good.
What was the other question?
Congeniality and apathy.
I explained my question as well. Which one was
Apathy.
Apathy. How are they going to test if you're apathetic or not?
We don't know. We don't know yet if that's going to be the case. That's a hypothetical.
No.
I just wanted to throw it out there.
I definitely put Guy as the most apathetic.
Again, I don't know what apathy means.
Lazy.
Not really giving a...
Yeah, not really caring.
I'm just doing this for the listeners who might not know what these words are.
So, hey, look, I went on dictionary.com earlier.
I should be doing that rather than just admitting my ignorance, but it's character building.
Gwen, what did you get in the last one?
So I've looks like about 20 feet filled up with this crackling energy in total.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
I think me, Juna, and Orin are all of about equal pegging, and Guy and Enkidu have just a little bit less.
No, me and Orin have got a little bit less. Me and Orin. Me and Guy have got a little bit less.
I'm sorry.
Orin.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I wrote the wrong thing on the wrong person. My apologies. It's because for the way I wrote Orin kind of looks like Daryl. Because my handwriting's that bad.
Everyone at the moment is on 20. Orin and me are on 15.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. I was just testing you.
With Enkidu and Gwen still to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We could probably find out. So yeah, it could be just fairly evenly spread out, but we'll see what the appropriateness is for the next question.
Yeah, okay. Who's going next?
Gwendolyn, you go first. I'll stay.
All right. Gwendolyn presses the button.
Again, her corridor is blacked out from everybody else's view. And Gwendolyn, you can't hear anybody else. Even the crackling of the energy from their corridors seems dampened. But again, 4 triangles in front of you with their names on, 4 pins appear to hang them on.
Right.
Please rank your fellow recruits in order of intelligence.
Okay. Now, both Orin and Guy can afford to take more of this energy, but then if the challenge matches up... I should have asked this before I went in. I'll stick with the plan of what we're doing so far. Okay. So she puts Juna at the top, then Enkidu, then Orin, then Guy.
Cool. So, Gaius, your corridor has double the amount of arcane energy put into it. So you're up to 30 feet of this crackling, and again, you can't see through it. It's sparking out. You can almost feel the heat of it at this point, even though you are at the far end of the corridor. Juna, you've got a total of 20. Orin, you've now got a total of 25. Gwendolyn, obviously, yours doesn't fill in, so you've still only got 20. And Enkidu, you're also up to 25 feet full of crackling energy, and Gwendolyn's corridor suddenly opens up so that everybody can see her again.
Well, this is the way to go.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Put me at the bottom. I don't mind.
Yeah, I pressed the symbol on the wall.
And again, also, can I just say, I really like how you've lined up in a very specific way down the corridor. Like Gaius, Juna, Orin, Gwendolyn, and Kidu. And that's the way you've pressed the buttons as well.
I hadn't even realised that.
Yeah, I know. That's very nice. So yeah, in Kidu, you press the button and you're presented with exactly the same thing as everybody else. Nobody can see you. But everybody hears the words, "Please rank your fellow recruits in order of arcane prowess."
This is so
have
broken.
we just done this so wrong?
So wrong.
Have we just done this so
We
wrong?
have.
David never does things this simply. We're absolutely
We have done this so
screwed.
wrong.
This is so bad.
We have completely destroyed ourselves.
Well, actually, it's not that bad.
We don't know till we know.
Arcane prowess, considering Guy's a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Juna famously not arcane at all.
As long as I don't get we don't know how many rounds of this we'll get. We're hoping it rounds off to the amount of people that we have there, but for all we know, we could have like a few more rounds and stuff as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The buttons have
Yeah.
disappeared, though, haven't they, for people
Yeah.
who've already done it?
Yeah. They might,
They might come
back.
back, yes.
But the theory is that if you wanted to do this, you could give me a bigger number than Orin.
This is true. Obviously, Enkidu can't hear that
No.
right
Oh,
now.
he can't. Can he? Sorry.
So he has to make the decision himself.
Oh gosh.
Oh, this is horrible. Oh my god.
But I was gonna go with what I was gonna decide before then. Gosh, I'm gonna press Guy first,
Guy first.
then Orin, then Juna, then Gwendolyn.
Cool. So again, corridors start filling up. So now Gaius, Juna, and Orin all have 30. Gwendolyn, you'll suddenly fill up to 35. But obviously, Enkidu's, yours stays at 25. And the wall becomes clear again between you all. And 5 more triangles
No.
appear for each of you to press.
Great,
Excellent.
brilliant.
Do we...
Is there just enough space?
yes, do we try and aim for things fitting more with us this time, just in case we are shooting ourselves in the feet?
Well, the thing is, we could get zapped as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could get zapped. And I think it's a case that, we just, in an ideal world, I don't know if the mathematics work out here, but if we all end up with about 60, that's perfect, because we don't all get zapped. And we just have to think of a way to make sure that happens.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it because that is another round will give us another 120, which is oh no, it won't. It'll give us another 150. Maths, which is giving us 30 each.
Which is fine as long as we even up the Gwen having a bit more and then Kidu having a bit less.
So we got to do this carefully.
At the most, Enkidu can afford to have 35.
Yeah.
Orin, Juna, and me can afford to have 30. And Gwen can afford to have 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can't give ourselves it. Remember that. So whoever goes last has to be up to 60 before they go.
Okay.
This is very fun, David.
It's so stressful,
I'm
but
really
it's so
enjoying
fun. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Do you think with the next one we could afford to maybe match it up as best we can, ranking-wise, just in case?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we probably can. And then we got to start.
Being a bit more savvy about it from there.
We got to be savvy then, I think.
Just in case it helps us further down the line. It might not, but seems like everything has a purpose here.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, who's going first?
sure. I want to give it a shot.
Go for it.
Touch the symbol that appears.
And you're presented with exactly the same thing again. Your corridor is blacked out, and everybody hears the words, "Please rank your fellow recruits in order of design talent."
Oh wow, this is perfect. I'm gonna go Orin, Guy, Gwen, Juna.
So again, Gwendolyn and Juna's corridors fill up, so they're both 45 feet full of arcane energy. Gaius has extended to 35 feet, and Orin's doesn't move at all. And the wall becomes clear again for you and Kidu.
Okay. Everyone okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Remember, whoever goes last needs to be at 60.
Yes. I think me and Juna are the ones getting closest to that.
Yes. Do we want to keep things even or do we want to keep things odd? Is my question.
Well, we need to make sure at the end, 2 people have got 60, someone has got 55, someone has got 50, and someone has
Yeah.
got 45.
So we need to keep them odd, not all the same.
So how do we do that?
We have to work our way back.
Can we afford to do another round of trying to rank it as honestly as we can?
I don't think that's the case now.
And Kidu is a long way behind, and so am I.
So we need to get you caught up by ranking you near the bottom.
Okay, we can maths this. We can maths this, team.
So Gwen currently has 15 left to go, yes?
Yeah.
I have 15 left till I die. Both of us.
Correct.
And
Hopefully we're not going to die.
hopefully we're not. Enkidu has 30 left to be spent on him.
35.
35.
35, sorry. And then Orin, you have
30 left to spend on me.
It's also important who chooses next. It's not just about. It's a like it can't be just any one of us just goes. Oh, I'll go next. It's like we have to be really precise with that.
Yeah.
and then Guy has 25 more that can be spent on him, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for the sake of argument, I need a 15, a 10, and a 5, say. Let's just say that I get a 15, a 10, and a 5
Yeah?
in the next 3 rounds, and then I get a 0 in the last. So, the next round, we have to give out a 10. Let's give the 10 to Enkidu. He's a bit down, and then we need to give out a 5. Let's give it to Guy.
Okay, so that means then I need to get the other one. I need to get is a 5 and a 15.
So, let's say you get the 15 next time, and you get the 5 on the final round. Right, Enkidu, let's do you next, because you've got quite a bit to go. You've got a 10 on the first round, so how much more do you need to get? You need 25 to go.
Yeah.
Let's give him 15 on round 3, because we need to give that 15 out somewhere. You need 10 more, is that right?
Yeah.
So, we give you a 10 on the final round.
And a 0 on the second round.
So we've given Enkidu a 10, a 0, a 15 and a 10. So, on the first round we've dished out all our numbers. On the second round we've still got a 5 to dish out. The third round we've still got a 10 to dish out. And the final round we've still got a 15 to dish out. Gwen, or Juna, one of you is getting 15 on the final round.
Yeah? Oh, say that's me,
Okay? Juna, you're getting 15 on the final round.
which means I need to get 0 on all the other rounds.
You need to get 0 on all the other rounds, okay?
Yeah.
That's important. Gwen, we've got a 5 to dish out. That's on the second round. We've got a 10 to dish out. That's on a third round. And we got a 0 in the final round. So,
I like the idea that Orin has like pulled out a chalk or something, or, like, and just been drawing on like the windows for, like to count it all up.
yeah, he's beautiful minding it.
I love the idea that because of the Sudoku puzzle nature of this, he was not ranked highest intelligence.
Oh no.
But it's okay because Juna was, and she's helping him, so that's okay.
Well, yeah, and again, Juna and Orin's like corridors are right next to each other, so she's like pointing at all of the numbers. Yeah.
I feel like mine and Ben's like of puzzles is like coming back out to play.
Exploded out of this. Yeah.
So either me or Gwen needs to go next.
Yeah.
Yep,
I can go next, but I need you to tell me the order that I'm doing.
we're going to tell you exactly the order.
Okay.
But we just need to figure out who's going in which order. So, Gwen, you're going next. So then after that, it's Juna and Kidu's already been. So, Juna, you have to
I
go
have
next.
to go next, yes.
Then it's either Juna or Guy. Well, Juna, you'll have already been.
So then it's Guy, and then Orin last.
Okay.
This works, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a photo and send it to us via our brains?
Yeah. Hang on. I will use my magical tinkering to recreate it 5 times.
Little tinkerings.
Again, I quite like if everybody's pulled out a bit of chalk and they're like copying the diagram down the corridor, right, to make sure everyone's got a copy.
Gwen, you're up next. Really important here. Juna is top. Guy is second. Enkidu is third. And I am last.
Okay.
And remember, guys, it's not personal.
Not at all.
It is so far from personal by this point.
It's just math, which is nothing at all like personal.
David, your expression is so blank.
I really hope the next part of this challenge isn't personal either.
We've done this so wrong.
No, but we figured this out just in time.
Yeah.
If we'd
Yeah.
figured this out a round later, I think we might have been too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right, here goes. Gwendolyn presses the button.
Her corridor goes dark. The same triangles appear. You hear the words, "Please rank your fellow recruits in order of emotional resilience."
This is ridiculous.
Juna, Guy, Enkidu, Orin.
Sounds about right.
The corridors fill up so that Juna, Orin, and Gwendolyn now have 45 feet of crackling energy. Gaius has 40 feet of crackling energy in his corridor, and Enkidu is up to 35.
All right, Orin, I'm going next.
You're going next.
And
right.
I'm ranking Enkidu, Gwen, you, then Guy, yes?
That's correct. Easy to remember. It's the order of our tubes.
Egog.
Egg.
Group name.
I love it.
Egg-og.
The Egu.
Press.
Again, your tube goes dark. Please rank your fellow recruits in order of honesty.
I would say Enkidu, then Gwen, then Orin, then Guy.
That works.
Accurate.
If the shoe fits.
Just really want to confirm quickly. Enkidu is top of that list.
Yes.
Enkidu is
Okay.
top of that list.
All right. Because I've not looked at your working, and I don't want to
Okay, I thought
accidentally
you were
scrub
like
one of
really
you off the map.
questioning the method then, David. And I was
No, because I've not looked at it on purpose. I'm following the diagram as I
my
fill it
dinner
up.
was almost in my esophagus there.
So that means Gaius and Orin are up to 55 feet of lightning, arcane energy. Gwendolyn has 50, Juna has 45, and Enkidu is still at 35.
Okay, I press my button.
Oof. Goes dark. Please rank your fellow recruits in order of value.
Whoa.
Okay, I'll go with Juna first, then Orin, and then I'm really nervous now. That definitely says Gwen there. Then Gwen, and then Enkidu.
I love that Guy just went in without checking, without asking.
No, he just
anyone.
went, yeah, fuck it.
Just pressed
Leroy
the button.
Jenkins.
Just pressed it.
And yep, so Gaius is obviously doesn't fill up, but Gaius is at 55, Juna is at 45, Orin and Gwendolyn are at 60, and Enkidu is at 50.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
This is really near me.
Yep.
Really, really near me. Okay. Check my maths.
You've got this, Orin!
Gwen, you're first. Guy, you're second. Enkidu, you're third. Juna, no offence, but whatever happens, you're last.
I got the space!
But all of you, like, the heat in all of these tubes, like, the air is getting thin, you are sweating. And Orin and Gwendolyn especially, you've only got 5 feet of movement, and you can almost feel this, like, singe coming off of this energy.
Gwendolyn has already got her fan out before, and she's just fanning herself and her sweaty brow.
Orin presses his triangle.
He goes dark. Please rank your fellow recruits in order of leadership.
Yep, Gwen, you're top. Guy, pretty good leader. Enkidu, not so good. Juna, terrible leader.
She's chaos itself.
I know.
And then he just mutters under his breath, but I'll follow you into tomorrow.
That's adorable.
That needs to be on a t-shirt. Oh
Yes.
my
I'll
god.
follow you into tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Can I just steal that for my wedding vows?
Yeah. You certainly can.
Do it.
Dom, if you're listening, you're not going to say a word.
So the all 5 of the corridors fill up 60 feet of crackling energy, and you were all stood in this 5-foot space, and nothing is happening. And then all of the glass goes dark, and you all hear the words, "Which of your fellow recruits least upholds the values of the Wingthrop family?"
What a question.
And I don't want any of you to say anything out loud. I want you to message me an answer.
Come on!
In an order.
4 triangles have appeared in front of you, and 1 pin sits on top.
Oh my gosh.
Which of your fellow recruits least upholds the values of the Wingthrop family?
Can I like, I mean, the likelihood of this actually being able to happen is probably impossible, but I have to have tried. Can I cast message if I I turn to Guy and say, "Can you hear me?"
There's no response.
I knew it, but I couldn't have not tried it in case
Yep.
I just needed to.
Which one the least, right?
Yep.
And there's just the other people's 4 names.
Yep.
One least upholds the Wingthrop values.
We can't co op this.
No.
Are we messaging you on Zoom? What are we doing?
You can message me however you like. I've got all of the things up, but it has to be private. Nobody else can see your answer.
I feel like I was a bit too quick there.
We should have done this test by ourselves. Orin says under his breath.
You know, it's funny. I think the probability is equal amongst all of us then, depending on how we think about it.
Yeah.
I tried to think if there was a pattern that we all would have magically
More would have
all
followed,
had in
yeah,
our
but
heads.
you can't.
No.
I haven't messaged yet.
But those of you who have made your choice and hung up a triangle, the pin on all of the triangles disappear, so you can't change your mind.
No.
Oh,
Yep, I regret that now.
Guys, we don't even know what's going to happen. Like,
no. But
it doesn't, like, let go.
Yeah.
Honestly, just
Make
let
a
go.
decision.
No, Vicky could make a decision, but literally, like, I don't know what Juna would do.
Orin has a reason why he's made his decision, which he's just hoping is correct. Ben couldn't make a decision, but Orin, weirdly, can logic his way through to a decision, rightly or wrong.
This is the least decisive I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh, come on.
You've got.
I
You just.
don't know what to do.
You just got to pull that straw, mate.
Just do it. Do it.
Roll for it.
Roll. For
I'm
it.
going to roll for it.
Pattern.
I'm going to roll for it. I'm
that's
really
very
sorry.
Juna. No, that is very
Yeah,
Juna.
it's.
Leave it to chance.
I can't even be like, well, this is logically what she would do, or this is blah blah what she would do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Sorry for being a dick, everyone.
You're not.
It's all right. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know.
Purposefully made this stressful.
Yeah. This is potentially, like, very burning.
So the triangles disappear. And in front of Gaius, Orin, and Gwendolyn, a second choice appears.
Oh God!
Stop it!
And the two names are Juna and Enkidu.
Literally has nothing other than chance on this. Nothing in terms of reason why, just chance.
I'm going to roll. Can't. I feel sick. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't choose what I was rolling for and I just rolled a dice. It's a
Panic roll.
number. Who does that number mean? Okay.
It's funny, really, because actually, mathematically, it doesn't make any difference with the dice roll. It just, like, assigns blame to the dice rather than to your decision making. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
the funny thing. You could just, that's how that justifies it psychologically.
Still feel sick.
I know, yeah, I do.
All of the corridors become clear again, and Enkidu's tube suddenly fills with arcane light. There is a very brief moment, Enkidu, where you see it happening. What do you do?
Are all of them open now?
You can see right down the corridor. Everybody in that 5-foot space that you've got left turn to see what happens, and you watch the lightning suddenly encroach upon Enkidu.
Thunderstep, and I teleport forward 90 feet as fast as I can. Well, I teleport fast. That makes no sense. but-
You attempt to thunderstep, and you can feel something just turn your magic off.
Oh no!
And in that brief moment that you see Enkidu start to vanish and then not, there is a brief shattering of the glass up in front of him. His entire tube fills with energy, and it goes dark.
So we can't see him.
Nope.
Guy is banging on the walls of his tube.
Yeah.
The arcane energy in everybody else's vanishes.
So let me get this straight. His tube goes black, and we just see him being engulfed in this magic.
Yep.
I think you also see Orin just throw up in his tube in front of him
no!
again.
Can I try and like
Gwendolyn's trying to, like,
cast something
smash the
against
glass
the
next
wall,
to...
yeah.
Because she's next to Enkidu, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to smash the glass, however,
Oh, yeah,
like, she's
Enkidu's
hitting
not
it
next
and
to me,
whacking
I
it
don't
and piercing it.
I think we'll end the episode there.
Oh my god!
David!
You son of
Oh
a...
my gosh! Oh man!
I cast shatter, I cast sleep, I cast suggestion, I cast healing word, I cast everything.
Can we play again now?
I don't think I can take another game, and yet
Oh
we
my
also need to
God.
play again immediately.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was sick.
You have been listening to David Knight as your Dungeon Master, Ben Galpin as Orin, Chris Watts as Gaius, Daryl Bailey as Enkidu, Grace Kelly Miller as Gwendolyn, and Vicky Gaskin as Juna. Original music by David Knight. Please tell your friends, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media.